What's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Hey guys, what's happening? Let me just pop Chucky back here. Hopefully everything is nice and clear and coming in nice and clear. All right. Let me just pop that there. Guys, what's happening? I hope everything's well. I know this is a weekend Q&A. Technically, it's Monday here, but it's a public holiday. It's Labor Day here, so that counts as a weekend. It's a long weekend. So I was supposed to go live yesterday, but unfortunately, I had a impromptu visit to the emergency room. Not last night, the night before. I woke up at about midnight with a really bad pain under my belly button. And as the hours went on, early into the evening, the pain shifted to the right side of my abdomen. I'm thinking, great. I don't know if you guys have had that before. Usually that means appendicitis. Also, if people can hear me loud and clear, just make sure. So I am on a new setup now. I got myself a new laptop. Thank God. Finally. I know what you're all saying. Finally. So yeah, I woke up yesterday morning and the pain had gotten worse, like pushing down on the right side of my abdomen was just agonizing. And hang on. Cool. So Chloe's like, we're going to take you to the emergency room. I'm like, oh, but I don't want to go. So I thought, you know what? Screw it. It's a busy couple of weeks coming up. If it is appendicitis, I just want it out now. Went to the emergency room. We got there at around 9 a.m. and I was discharged at 4 in the afternoon. So within that time, I had blood tests done, urine tests. I had the cannula. So you can probably see the bruise there on my arm. I had the cannula in there, the big fat needle in there for IVs and stuff like that. And then I had to get a CT scan. The doc came around. She goes, we've tested your bloods. Your bloods are all perfect, normal. Your urine's fine, all that jazz. But we're going to do a CT scan just to see what's going on in your abdomen. I'm like, okay, cool. So Chloe went home to look after the dog and just have a bit of a rest. And they came around with a drink and it helps. It's like called a contrast drink. And I've never had a CT scan before. So this is all new to me. Had the drink. And then half an hour later, you have another drink. And it's a real yucky tasting drink. So anyway, another half an hour later, a gentleman came and got me and took me to the radiation medicine department. And I had to sign a form. And this nurse comes up and says, look, we're gonna hook another IV into you when you have the CAT scan. So you're gonna lie down with your arms like that, and we're gonna do a CT scan on your abdomen. She goes, but when we inject that IV in, it's iodine. She goes, you're instantly gonna get a metallic taste in your mouth. You're going to feel like you're going to wet your pants instantly, or you've wet your pants. She goes, you haven't. And you're probably also going to get really hot. I'm like, oh, okay, no worries. Like, just as long as I get answers, whatever. So anyway, went in there. I was the only one in the waiting room. Went in, laid down. They did one pass. So you hold your breath and you can do one pass, bring you back out. And then they hook the IV up to me. And they're like, all right, we're going to do it again, but this time with the iodine going through you. And it's just going to help us see everything a lot better. Hello to everyone joining in on the chat. Hopefully everything looks a lot better than last week, because that was just embarrassing. And as I kid you not, 2 seconds after she hit the valve to enter in my system, I got the metallic taste in my mouth. The back of my neck instantly flared up and was going red. And I felt like I was going to wet my pants. It's the most strange sensation ever, but it kind of helps that they're like, hey, this is what's going to happen. So got the CT scan done. That was a couple of minutes. Went back to the waiting room. 2 hours later, I got the results. The surgeon came because the doc's like, look, we'll get a surgeon to come see you just in case they do need to operate. Again, I wanted, if I needed surgery, I needed it now, because this coming week and the next week are flat chat. And then the week after that, I'm off to Canada. I can't afford to have downtime at the moment. And anyway, the surgeon came, took Chloe and I into the room with all the results. She goes, we couldn't see anything on the CT scan. She goes, you've got a hernia right under your belly button. She goes, I don't think that's it, because like the pain shifted to like the right side of your abdomen. And she goes, like, it's probably like muscular, or it could be gastroenteritis. She goes, so this is the funny part. Me, Chloe, and the surgeon. She goes, have you had any alcohol in the last 24 hours? the day before, Chloe, mum, and I went to the pub and, had a fair few drinks. And I go, yeah, I have. And she goes, what did you have? I go, red wine. And she goes, how much? And like without hesitation, Chloe's like looking at the ceiling, just deep in thought. And she goes, over a bottle. And the surgeon's like, oh, wow, okay. And I go, oh, yeah, like could be that. And I go, how's my liver enzyme count from my blood test? And she goes, your liver enzymes are actually like beyond textbook. She goes, I'm actually thoroughly impressed at how you're able to metabolize alcohol. So I was like, thanks. I thought she's going to give me a high five. And she goes, when we don't need to operate, everything seems fine. We don't know what the hell's going on. She goes, it may be your gallbladder, highly doubt it. But if you want this coming week, obviously I can't today because it's a public holiday. I can go get an ultrasound and they get a better idea of your gallbladder and all that. Apparently a CT scan doesn't really pick up gallbladder, but I thought like where an ultrasound is like 720, a CT scan is like fucking 4K 1080p. That's what I thought it was, but obviously not. They can see certain things with each technique. So that is an option. She gave me some antibiotics if it is like gastroenteritis and stuff like that. She's obviously given me some pointers, what you eat and stuff like that for the time being, spicy foods, coffee, hello. But just real heavy stuff. So I'm feeling a lot better. I slept like a baby last night. There is still a bit of discomfort. It definitely feels like a muscle or something. But when you've got a pain, look, for anyone in the chat who's had appendicitis and had their appendix out, I don't know, was it the same? Did it start in the middle and shift to the right? Because that's the biggest, the biggest symptom. Your pain shifts to the right-hand side, and then you get fever, vomiting, diarrhea. I didn't have any of them. I had a bit of a fever in the waiting room, but I think that was just anxiety and what they call white coat syndrome, when you're in a doctor's office and you get yourself worked up. So that's where we're at. The pain's definitely gone down a lot better. But like I said, I was intending to go live yesterday and then that happened, but it's a good little story to tell. So yes, like I said, technically it is Monday here, but it's a long weekend for Labor Day. So it's the long weekend. So let me just get to some questions and what everyone's up to. JQ Public. Remember, folks, YouTube tells you to guard your privacy whilst logging everything you do occasionally and asking for your bank deals. That is very true. That is very true. I don't know if anyone's based in Australia that's heard what's going on with Optus, with the Optus hack. Everything's leaking out with Optus. So I have one of my email addresses with Optus, and apparently they're reimbursing people for renewing their passports now because their passport details are being leaked. So Optus have footing the bill for getting brand new passports. So they have new passport numbers and everything. So just essentially resetting all that. So they must be in absolute damage control right now. I'd hate to be an employee at Optus. JQ, Chris, I'm the only one waiting, but I have to go to bed soon, bro. I'll have to catch this tomorrow. Dude, look, I appreciate you just chiming in anyway. So yeah, thank you very much. But have a good sleep, man. Hopefully there's no pain in your guts. There's someone else here now, so I don't feel so bad having to leave. That's okay, man. Someone takes the next shift. That's all good. Life of Riley. I hope Hellraiser is good. Perfect segue, Riley. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is the first reactions for Hulu's Hellraiser. So it's just under a week out. I've been hearing nothing but good stuff. I do have so this is from Collider, and people are coming in left, right, and center. Hellraiser has plenty of sights to show you, and it's wrapped up with a great cast, some excellent kills, beautiful visuals, and some violence that would make Clive Barker happy. So Dem's fighting words right there. That's big. Hellraiser rules. Super violent, beautiful gore, poetic, genuinely scary, and bathed deeply in Barkerian themes. So that's great. Where's one? Here, this one. I think it's this one. Yes, yeah. Hellraiser is a gnarly, gory, horny reinvention that feels closer to Barker's prowess than any movie before it. So, this has got me so excited. Chris Stuckman put his review up this morning, pun me, and he's praising it because usually these days Chris only puts up videos on films that he wants to critique in a positive light. He's kind of foregone the whole oh god, what was it? What was Hilariosity reviews? Try saying that 20 times. But he's digging it. Cody Leach put his review up because himself, Chris Stuckman, got to see it at there was an expo in Texas, I think it was. If you guys remember the name of that. So yeah. Very excited about that. I'm probably gonna have to I'm gonna have to use my VPN. So I use my Surfshark VPN and get a Hulu account. I don't have a Hulu account, so I'll have to get that just to watch it, then do my review on it. But I'm really thrilled. There's more photos emerging now. Jamie Clayton in her makeup and the makeup artists, touching her up. And then there's a good shot of the Chatterer. The Chatterer looks great. The Chatterer's got just weird shit going on there. It looks crazy. And then we've got that new Cenobite, the mask, which is amazing. It's like no bone structure and like the face is kind of pinned, I guess you could say, pinned to like an armature. It looks amazing. Fantastic fest. Thank you so much, General Hotpiz. Yes, fantastic fest. That was it. Someone asked how Eddie's going. Eddie's going good, man. The wig has been trimmed, taken care of by a good friend of mine, Juanita, who's a hairstylist. That's all done and dusted. She's also recommended when I do wear it in Canada, there's an oil that you can use that you put through the wig. So it's going to get rid of this. So when it does dry, it does boof back out. The thing is, if you went to thin it anymore, you're going to run into the netting underneath. But by putting this oil in, it gives you that greasy look that Eddie has in the show, because he's like all sweaty and, unkept and stuff like that. So really happy with that. Now, the wasp pin. See if I can... The wasp pin, hopefully you guys can see that. The wasp pin has been resin printed. I resin printed that the other day, and that'll go up there. The handcuff belt buckle, I tried resin printing and it just failed. So I've given the file to Benny, Benable FX, who's going to have a crack at it. So it's going to be printed. I'm going to take a mold of it, cast it in a flexible urethane and make a fake facade to put on the front. The original belt buckle that you can get from the original manufacturer now isn't going to get here in time, unfortunately. It's just one of those things. So, okay. So, sorry, I just had to check something. But yeah, so full steam ahead. He's pretty much done with the exception of the wallet chain and the wrist chain. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, I'm off to Canada on the 24th. So someone, Justin Skinner, hi from Canada. Hey, how are you coming? I'm good, man. I'm going to be over into Nova Scotia in a couple of weeks' time, man. I fly out here on the 24th, and I believe I land there on the night of the 24th. So it's great going to the States and Canada because you essentially, time just stands still. You leave on a Monday, you get there on a Monday. It's great. And then the convention, HowlCon, is on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and on the Monday, I fly back. The unfortunate thing is I fly back. I'm in the air during Halloween. So Halloween is a complete write-off. So it's one of those things where, you know what, I've never been to Canada. I'm really excited about this. This is a great opportunity for me for what I've built up over 8 years now. So I'm really looking forward to it. Eddie's going, Pirate Batman's going, and probably Nathan Drake. Got to host a couple of panels over there and a few workshops. That's going to be a lot of fun. So one of the workshops is, like painting, weathering, and distressing props for your cosplay. So I'm going to be doing castings of the Samurai Spawn belt and having different stages of it, but also practically showing people on stage how to do it. So they'll have like an overhead camera to show exactly what's going on. So it's all happening, man. I'm very excited. I've, for the longest time, always wanted to go to Canada. It is going to be a tough flight. If you guys remember me telling you, I think it's Sydney. This is where I get the two mixed up. It's either Sydney, Vancouver, Toronto, Halifax, or it's either Sydney, Toronto, Vancouver, Halifax. So it's going to be a brutal flight, but I just got to smash it out. I'm getting there 2 days earlier. I opted to go for 2 days early just so I can get adjusted. And I want to do touristy stuff before the con. I want to see Nova Scotia and do some touristy stuff there. So I'm really looking forward to it. Again, it's only going to be a quick turnaround. But either way, it's a great opportunity. So I am going to try and do a vlog there, whether it means multiple ones or one giant one, just on my experience, because I do love vlogging. It's kind of like doing a live stream. It's very in the moment. and just a lot more natural. I just got £4.49 from the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. Darren and Frank, thank you so much. Hey, buddy, for your marvelous channel. See you soon. Thank you so much, man. Guys, if you haven't already, you should see Darren and Frank put up their Halloween 2018 video, I think yesterday or the day before. So that's actually on my watch later list, man. Obviously, last 24 hours has been very hectic with some things that have been going on. But that's in my queue to watch. So I'm looking very, very forward to that. So thank you so much, man. These guys are just the best. And their channel is just exponentially shooting off. So I can't wait to see where they're at in like a year's time. They're going to be killing it. Like the Halloween content is crazy. I can't wait to see the Halloween Ends content. And with that being said, I'm just going to cruise on back up. Hope you're all good. Hey, Chris, Chris, are you dating Jay from We Watch the Movie? I wish, man. I wish. This happened to me when I had my wisdom teeth removed. I sobered up too quickly, so I had to go back. Oh, dude, that's brutal. I've had the option to have my wisdom teeth out. They've all come through. One is like just pushing pretty firmly against the next one. And the dentist is like, well, we can take him out if you want. And I'm like, no, I've seen what happens. Friends of mine that have had their wisdom teeth taken out, they're like a bloated frog for several days. It doesn't look fun. Gems, Mams, hope you're all good. I am doing a lot better. Thank you. Yeah, just a little bit of discomfort. A lot better than what I was yesterday, put it that way. Okay. Nate 316, we're in Canada. You going? I'm headed to beautiful Nova Scotia, man, in Halifax. So if I had more time, I would love to do Vancouver, Toronto, but that's gonna have to be for another trip because this is a quick turnaround. I'm only going to be there for a week, but I obviously need a couple of days to adjust to the time zones because I'm going to be rat shit. And I don't cope well with jet lag. My anxiety just goes through the roof. I don't know if you guys have ever had the same. I think because your brain is just so scrambled from the time shift and the time zone change and all that. It's like my brain fires off the wrong chemicals and signals, and it's not pleasant. But either way, like there are things you can do to kind of help with it and kind of soften the blow of jet lag. You know, getting out into the sun, like apparently letting light into your eyes, depending on the certain time zone you're at, helps a lot, helps adjust. And also visuals, like just say it's supposed to be dinner time back home at your original destination. Like if it's dinner time back here in Australia, and that's what my body's used to, but I'm about to have breakfast, visually seeing a breakfast can help readjust because the visual will help your brain be like, okay, it's breakfast, it's morning now. It's crazy, like little things like that. And obviously just like smashing water on the plane, vitamin B, having like a Barocca when you land, try not to drink alcohol or too much coffee. Like one standard drink is equivalent to 2 up there in the sky, which is pretty gnarly. Like you're a constant cheap date up in the sky. So yeah, it's just little things like that, but it definitely does help. White Ennis, hello Chris. Sorry I'm late to the party. My notification didn't go off that you're alive. Oh, dude, look, it's YouTube. You know, I probably should be saying in my videos, you know, hit that bell notification. But look, if you fucking want to do it, I'm not going to force you to. But yeah, YouTube is very sporadic sometimes. Case in point, my Munsters review, that absolutely blew up. And I didn't expect it to. I just wanted to talk about it and just have a bit of fun with it. And again, I hope people understood where I was coming from. I'd never want to diss someone's work, especially someone who I like as a musician. Like I have a lot of Rob Zombie songs on my Spotify playlist, stuff like that. And it's not like, oh, you know, he's a piece of shit, da da da. It's just like, it missed the mark. And I actually forgot to say in that video, I think if he had have had a crack at this around the same time Addams Family and Addams Family Values came out, I think it would have been a lot more better and a lot more well received. Just in that time of quirky remakes of old shows were happening. And then, you know, several years later, we got the Brady Bunch movies and a Very Brady sequel, and they kind of work. They're quirky and stupid, but they work. Whereas Rob's tried to do the same with the Munsters, and it just ends up being stupid. But like I said, the costumes, makeup, the set design, all that, I thought were just phenomenal. They were really great, like oh so good. So yeah, let me just cruise on down. Carlos Fager waiting for the Red Letter media review. Yeah. I see whenever there's always, you know, a great movie that gets so much praise. I'm interested to see what Red Letter Media have to say, because they do it in such a sarcastic way. They're very clever. Their intros are so clever. Even though they're very long, they're great. Okay. Hey, Chris, first time watching the stream, but I really love your cosplay and custom collectibles. That's from Iron Manual 96. Thank you so much, man. In terms of custom collectibles, it's all up in the air for the next couple of weeks. This coming week, this is probably, I wouldn't say it's a custom collectible, but this is what I'm waiting to get approval on from Amazon. So this is the Balrog 3D print that I'm doing a video on with construction, painting, and light up eyes and mouth. So I guess you could call that a custom collectible, even though it was resin printed. So I'm waiting to get sign off for that from Amazon. It's a long weekend, so I'm not going to hear anything till at least tomorrow, but they want to go live as soon as possible. So that's probably going to be happening this coming week. I do have, I don't know where he's gone. There's the like the Biohazard Batman McFarlane toy that I want to do. Again, everything's happening the next couple of weeks, geeks and geekettes. So obviously I don't want to be like, yes, this one's coming. It's if it happens, it happens. Samurai Spawn videos coming this coming week. Finally, like Daniela and Sarah from Lux Media, who filmed the Samurai Spawn reveal footage and this little short teaser, much like the Phantom that I did with Kim Quim. They've just been amazing. They've done some incredible behind the scenes footage. So I can't wait to show you guys that. And Daniela's even gone the next step and done a visual effects breakdown of how he did all the visual effects in it. And Sarah's done an amazing job with doing the audio, the sound effects, and just layering everything so beautifully. So all that's left is for me to do the breakdown footage to put the costume on my mannequin back in the workshop and be like, ta-da, this is what it consists of. This is how I did X, Y, and Z. Probably pop a few bits on, show you guys, and then cut to that beautiful footage we shot. So next weekend, I'm trying to get the Samurai Spawn video live. I feel like it's kind of been a tradition, I guess you could say, with having my cosplay reveals and stuff on the weekend, stuff like that. So, or if it's just ready before that, I'll be, fuck it, just drop it. Just get it out there. It's only been 2.5 years. So yeah, and I'm also doing 10 fun facts on the Hellraiser franchise this week. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I've also got my setup for my Halloween content. I frantically ran out to Bunnings Warehouse this morning and got this shelf with 3 legs, and then to have all the props on display. So I got my beautiful Lament configuration, my Part 1 glove, Child's Play 2 Chucky, and my beautiful Halloween Kills mask. So that's this coming week. The following week is the premiere of Halloween Ends here in Sydney. It's going to be a pretty big event, and obviously I'll do my content with my review and stuff like that afterwards. A couple of days later, Chloe then goes away. She's going back to see her family, which is really cool. And then I'm going to be going over in November. But then the following week, I'm off to Canada. So like I said, it's just all fucking happening. I get very overwhelmed when you see what's ahead of you, but like as it happens, you're like, this is fine. So yeah, kind of bit of a mixed bag with custom collectibles at the moment. Some I do have to put on hold because it's logistically a lot in terms of planning and execution, and it's something you don't really want to rush. So yeah, it's all happening, man. Renz Talentio, I hope I pronounced that correct. I haven't watched the first Hellraiser movie. Should I watch those before watching the one on Hulu? Yeah, dude. I obviously recommend the first 2. Hellraiser 3 Hell on Earth, there's a bit of shift in tone because the first and second one were made by a British production company, and I think by the time the third one came along, it shifted over to an American production company, and there's a massive shift in tone. And I think you could just get away watching the first 2. The rest, no. The rest that are direct to video, don't bother, because after 3, you've got Hellraiser Bloodline, then you've got, and these are probably going to be out of order, you've got Hellseeker, you've got Deader, you've got Revelations, Hellraiser Judgment, and some of them don't even have Doug Bradley as Pinhead. So I just say watch the first 2, man. I think it's not a direct sequel. It's not a reboot, this Hulu one, but they're staying true to the continuity of the previous films. which necessarily doesn't mean we're going to get Kirsty Cotton or Frank or Julia back in there, but they are still staying true to what has come before. It's not like forget those. It's still going. So I just say watch the first two, man. That's my best bit of advice because they're the best. Honestly, they're the best. And the effects in it are just, they still stand the test of time. Okay. Casey Dalglish? Hope I pronounced that correct. Can't wait for Halloween ends. I'm going to be cosplaying as Halloween Kills Michael on the 14th at the cinema. Hell yeah, man. So I was umming and ahhing. Do I go in my coveralls? Because you can't wear the mask for security reasons. They do have an actor there that's going to be Michael Myers, but you can't wear the mask. So I'm actually just going to take this as a prop and have it as like an accessory, like my handbag. Contemplating where to have the coveralls with a nice orange tie underneath, or my nice black pants, this black shirt, my nice V-neck with an orange blazer, like the Kingsman type blazer, just a nice orange, and then that as an accessory. Like how Jared Leto rocked up to the Met Gala with a replica of his severed head, kind of like that. So still, ahhing about that. Just got over a week, but I'm keen, man. I'm so keen. So yeah, that'll be good fun, man. I hope you have fun at that at your local cinema. Okay. Pardon me. Dale Everett, I want you to do a He-Man custom collectible. Ooh, that's an interesting one, man. That's definitely something to think about. I would, or maybe even like a resin printed He-Man bust and painting it. I think that would be fun. A super chat came through, £10 from Gary. Thank you so much, man. In D&D, there is a vampire knight that works for Vecna called Kaz. He eventually turns on Vecna. He was turned by bats like Eddie. Eddie had bat tattoos. Kaz has a shield with spikes like Eddie's bin lid. Nice symbolism, dude. I'd always, because yeah, you're right. Eddie does have the bat tattoos, and then at the end, he's got the garbage lid with the spikes on it. I didn't even think about that. So I don't play D&D. Like I have a lot of my mates play D&D. I just never got into it. But that's interesting. That's very bloody interesting. So works for Vecna called Kaz. He eventually turns on Vecna. I wonder if that will have anything to do with season 5. Do you think? Who knows? But that's so cool, man. Thank you so much. That's very generous of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. Now, I did see a question about my Joker statue. Yeah, Carlos Vega, random. Is the Joker statue behind you Hot Toys or something else? So if you go to my channel, dude, and just search Cosplay Chris bootleg Joker figure, it's a bootleg Joker figure, like a third-party Joker figure, and it's based off the Enter Bay Joker from The Dark Knight, and the company's called Fire Toys. Fire Toys, not Hot Toys, Fire Toys. So it was actually well worth the money. I would get him down, but he's very like not fragile, but the ball joints aren't, the ratchet joints are pretty shit. Like, yeah, I paid 500 for him, or 400 and something, and the ratchet joints are pretty shit. And I don't think both legs are the same length because he kind of has like a bit of a lean. But yeah, go check out that video, man. I bought a bootleg Joker figure. It's actually like nice close-ups and all that. So it's a third-party figure. It's essentially just the same version as the Enterbay Dark Knight Joker, which I had years ago. And that was a beautiful figure. And that's why I got that. Because to try and get an Enterbay Joker figure now is just astronomical price-wise. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, that was 400 and something. And it worked well, man. So, and the head sculpt's beautiful. Granted, I would like to have a crack at maybe grinding the hair off and doing rooted hair and just a quick little repaint, because the makeup, I'll get the head sculpt for you. I'll show you the head sculpt. So if it wants to come off, I'll screw it. I'll just get the whole figure. I'll deal with it later. I'll have to lay him down. Okay. So yeah, he's a very flimsy at the moment. I had to make my own base. So like it's a decent figure, dude. It didn't come with a base or a stand, so I had to make my own. But yeah, the head sculpt is the exact same as the Enterbay one. So for $400 odd, it's pretty good. You can't go wrong. And you can find them on the net, man. Granted, I don't know how much they charge in the States and stuff like that. But like it works great. It just does need a bit of a repaint. The makeup is very light, especially the white part. But it depends what Joker makeup you like throughout the film. You know, you got the interrogation scene makeup where it's just everywhere, everywhere. Lux Media, woo, no more lag, my guy. Yeah, fucking finally. So what happened last week is the cooling fan blew in my laptop. So I've still got my old laptop here. It's actually got a tab of the actual stream happening. So I can, it's really weird seeing myself with a delay, just so I can make sure everything's good from an outside point of view, so to speak. So the cooling fan went in it. That's why last week it was just lagging so bad. Like the laptop was struggling. So the next day I went out and this here is the brand new MacBook Pro with the M2 chip. I'm actually just using the built-in camera. I've got the streamer cam here, but I kind of just wanted to see how this went with the built-in cam. And look, if you guys are saying it looks good, then it works for me for now. I still edit on this one. I still have a few more things with footage on here that I need to edit and then submit for approval. And then after that, I'm going to transition straight to this one and just solely be using this one, but also have this as a backup. Like I could get this one repaired with the cooling fan because yeah, like after that stream last week, I touched the top of the keyboard here, the keypad, and it was like molten lava. So that's why it just wasn't having a good day. So I've got a good 4 and a bit years out of this thing. It's been a workhorse. But yeah, this thing is just, it's a beast. It's so refreshing. And it's a tax write-off if I'm going to be transparent with you guys. Okay, let me just... John C, did you have any issues getting your Legion safety coveralls? I haven't received mine. It's been a month. I had to get mine through a friend in the States, man, a good mate of mine, Chris Radiff, who now and then joins in on these. And I just paid him and then he got the coveralls and then he shipped the coveralls to me. I don't know if they shipped directly to Australia and that's why I didn't take a chance and I just got Chris to help out. So yeah. Are you based in the States? I have heard the wait time at the moment is ridiculous, especially with their V2s. Sorry, that was probably very graphic to hear, but everyone's saying their V2s are great. Like I obviously just use my V1s for that weathering video and they're great. I love them, especially for the price. And they're using the same fabric, the same fire resistant fabric as the Workrights. So I guess, okay, yes, I live in the States. I've got the V2. Maybe just send them an email, man. Just be like, hey, in terms of processing time for my spot, how's it looking? I think that's the best thing you can do, man. Any plans to repaint the knife into the rusty knife from Halloween Ends? Funny enough, I am doing one for a client at the moment. So this is the TOTS Halloween 2018 knife, and I'm sanding it back, and I am doing it with all the rust and everything for this handset. I just had that knife lying around. They requested to pay a bit extra, and could they get a rusty knife? So whether or not I do a video on it, maybe it would only be a quick video, man, which can work sometimes. Like, you know, people just like a quick tutorial now and then. So yeah, possibly. Like I do have to get that done this week though. I do want to ship it out as quickly as possible. So Relic Raider, I'll be at HowlCon on the 29th. Hell yeah, man. Dude, stop by, say hello. That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. Cinefex 419, hello from Indianapolis. Love the channel and your work. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. And it's a lot more confident when your stream fucking works. The amount of unlisted stream tests I did leading up to this, and then I was doing internet speed tests just to make sure everything's okay. I remember going out there like 5 minutes before I came in and went live, and Chloe's like, have a good time. I'm like, I was like shaking. I'm like, I always get nervous before the stream because then people are like, I can't hear you. It's lagging. This is bad. This is fucked. And then my confidence and it goes down and I shrivel up into a little shell. I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to stream ever again. But after last week's one, I was kind of like, no, I'm going to see it through. I love doing these fucking live streams. So I'm going to keep going. And if I'm going really red and shiny, it's starting to get really hot in the study here. It's a hot day today. Plus I'm getting very passionate. So thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And hello from Indianapolis. Nice one, man. I've always wanted to go to Indianapolis. I don't know why. You tell some people who live there and they're like, well, there's nothing here. But I'm like, yeah, but it's still another part of the States I haven't explored yet. I love exploring the States. Okay. Okay, so here's an interesting one that I know next to nothing about because I just haven't been on its radar. Renz Tolanito, are you excited for Werewolf by Night, Chris? We'll be releasing this week, watching it from the Philippines. So I've seen little bits and pieces. I know next to nothing about it. I don't know what the hell it is. Apparently, it's like Marvel trying to go a bit edgy. I think like old school horror, if I'm not mistaken. So I definitely want to check it out. I still have to bloody watch Andor. I just have not had time. I've heard great things about it. People are raving about it. So, and it's nice. A lot of people have saying, correct me if I'm wrong, there's no like Easter eggs or like, hey, remember this old IP from Star Wars? Well, it's in our show. They're kind of like, no, we're doing our own thing. And apparently it works. So I definitely want to check it out, man, because obviously it's horror. And if they're trying to do something old school, hell yeah. And if it's Marvel and they're having a crack at it, why not? Dare to be different. White Ennis, yeah, no disrespect for Rob Zombie. Dracula constantly plays my brain. Yeah, dude, Dracula is like, it's one of my top songs when I train, especially when I'm having a heavy train day. It's fucking, love it, love it. Jonathan Lewis, $5 just because. Well, thank you, man. That's bloody sweet of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's fucking awesome of you. Thank you so much, man. But yeah, look, feel free to ask a question or something. Just, yeah, please. Like, I just feel like that's not enough. Matt Damel, hey, Chris, no question this week. Just wanted to say thank you so much for your content and positivity and awesome, your constant positivity and awesome content. Your videos are playing almost nonstop while I'm working in my shop. Well, Matt, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. It's very sweet. I get very shy with this stuff because I do the same with a lot of YouTubers. Like, you know, if it's Frank and Darren Slaughtered Lamb, you got Dave McRae, Jimmy Champagne, Wham, just having them playing in the background, Flick Pick, Jeremy Johns, Stuckman. It's just nice to have a voice there for someone that you feel that you could have a chat with all day about movies or talking shop, talking shit and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that, man. It's really nice and humbling to hear that. I thank you for hanging in there. This is a good one. We spoke about this a couple of streams ago, and I'm going to try not to butcher your name again, man. Alaric Klingstrom, have you considered cosplaying your own version of the Crow, something that's like separate from Eric Draven and the other characters that were the Crow in the sequels? Absolutely, man. And with Skarsgård just wrapping filming actually on the Crow, 100% I'm keen. I'd love to do something where, because Eric has come back from the dead, bits of rotted flesh amongst the makeup. I reckon that would be cool. So he's come back, he's like decayed, rotted, well, the process of rotting and decomposition has started, but he still puts the makeup on and like the makeup smeared in the wounds. And I think that'd be a lot of fun. Have like one blind eye or like one rotted eye with like a little prop maggot and just disgusting. So I guess it's just a zombified Crow, but that's a lot of fun. It makes sense continuity wise. If you come back from the dead, like you're not going to be pristine and beautiful like Brandon Lee and just beautiful, lean. And my God, the guy's cheekbones could, you know, carve granite. It was ridiculous. So yeah, man, absolutely. I'm actually cosplaying as the Crow in a couple of weeks time on the 20th, a couple of days before I leave for Canada for Hello Scream at Luna Park here. It's a Halloween event that they've got here on the 20th. So I'm going to do the Crow with my hair and a mohawk, just something different, and piercing blue contact lenses. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, dude, I'd absolutely be open for that. I think if I were to do it, it'd be around the time when the Skarsgård Crow movie comes out, because you definitely have to like hone in on things that are trending at the time. Like this week, I'm doing a Hellraiser themed video, you know, 10 fun facts about Hellraiser. And I like to think my 10 facts are different from what other people have done. Some include, you know, homegrown stuff that has to do with Australia and stuff like that. And then obviously, it'll probably be this coming weekend, my review of Hellraiser on Hulu, stuff like that. So yeah, man, I definitely think you got to strike while the iron's hot with what's trending at the time. So I'll definitely do it when the Skarsgård one comes out. But good food for thought. Have it rotting makeup, like zombie makeup, stuff like that, you know, maybe silicone, liquid latex, stuff like that, or stipple stuff, just basic stuff, but also make it look manky and gross. And the wig, like the wig would have to have just shit hanging off everywhere. So yeah, definitely, man. All right. Dion Henchman, my dear friend Dion, a cosplay you would kick so much ass, Soldier Boy. Oh yeah, Jensen Ackles is Soldier Boy. Yeah, man. I still have to play catch up with the boys, so like I I intend to. It's not like, oh, the show looks shit. I just, again, it's like Endor or other shows. I just haven't committed. Mind you, I committed to Cobra Kai season 5. I finished that and I was so happy with how that finished. I probably shouldn't go into spoilers yet. I think people are still probably finishing off. I even know FlickPick is still finishing it. So, but I think it was very well done for how they capped it off. And season 6, shit's gonna go down, man. Okay. Obi-Wan Ben Kirby. Hey, Chris, you're the reason I got inspired to do my Freddy glove, and I was wondering if you could give me some advice on the glove construction. Yeah, man. Okay, so yeah, what I find with glove building, you never stop learning, which is totally fine, which is a great thing. So this part 1 glove that I have here is from Tony Gill, and it is a beautiful part 1 glove. So Tony uses screen use templates of the hero. He brazes the blades on. The blades themselves are replica P210 blades. So for those who don't know, they used real tomato knives on the original prop. It's a Case XX P210 tomato knife turned upside down. So essentially the original knife was like that, like a fillet knife type thing. The leather glove is beautiful. The leather glove is very similar to the details of the original leather glove. No one really knows for sure what brand they use. It was either Wells Lamont or a Stanley glove. I'd like to say Stanley because my surname is Stanley. But yeah, dude, like it depends. Like, do you need help with the weathering, the templates? Templates are a big thing. Like templates, you're going to do so many revisions of your templates. And I, even though don't make gloves that much anymore, let alone at all, I still revise my templates now and then because it's something you may see on a screen grab or a new photo that comes out, behind the scenes photo, and you're like, oh, I missed that detail. So yeah, dude, it just depends. Like, have fun with it, of course, and get creative. Like, you could even do your own glove. I built my own designer glove back in 2011, and that was a lot of fun. I thought it was a lot of fun. So yeah, it depends what glove you're doing too. Like the part 1/part 2 gloves, a lot more simple looking. And then you cut to the part 6 and there's like chunky solder. Okay, so weathering is where I get stuck. All right, dude. So yeah, weathering is very tricky, and a lot of glove builders keep stuff close to their chest, rightfully so, because you know it can either make or break a glove. And if you have that upper advantage, it makes sense to sometimes keep trade secrets to yourself. I started out with shoe polish, and I'd cover the copper or brass with black or brown shoe polish, and then get a blowtorch and heat it into it. And it really wouldn't do much, but it kind of helped, and it fizzled and everything. The shoe polish works great on weathering the leather. Works great on weathering a leather glove, whether you water it down and dunk the whole leather in it. You can just use heat with a propane torch. Like the part 1/part 2 glove had a lot of heat and scorching on the lower stalls, man. So it's trial and error, and that's the best advice I can give you. Just keep trying. Have little samples of like copper and brass. So one might be just raw copper, like you haven't done anything to it. Another, you might have scoured it with steel wool to get rid of that protective coating, hit it with heat, and then hit the other one with heat, stuff like that. But yeah, shoe polish works a treat on the leather, man. Artist oils, like oil colors, work great on the leather as well. They just take a bit longer to dry. Gary sends in another £5. Thanks, man. I have loved your channel for years. It killed me when you cut up life-size Freddy, lol, and you should play Freddy in a video with Mike and Jay one day. Well, dude, I can safely say life-size Freddy's back, even though he's not here. He's at mum and dad's just because we were running out of room in the study. But yeah, that life-size Freddy's here to stay. So that glove is for that life-size Freddy. I was talking with Mike and Jay a year ago about doing a skit around something. So I'm still trying to tinker with that because I want to do it right, but it would be so fun. I pitched them the idea if I was just me interviewing Michael and Loomis and, you know, Jay just being like, yes, hello, cosplay Chris. Cosplayers don't do it best. You suck. You stink. Poopy. So something like that. And like Jay wasn't available when Mike and I filmed our video the other week, and that was so much fun. I hope you guys got a Jones in out of that because I definitely want to do more with them. They're great. But yeah, Jay lives an hour away now from Mike, so Jay usually pops down once a week and they film a shitload of stuff, and then Jay goes back home. Obviously, he can make the live streams because he doesn't have to go anywhere. But yeah, dude, yeah, life-size Freddy's here to stay. Part 6 Freddy is going to be a wall mount bust with a floating hand. I just think it'd be something different. Plus, like another life-size Freddy is just going to take up a shitload more room. Plus, I am tinkering with possibly making a life-size Michael Myers, but you didn't hear that from me. Okay. Wyatt Ennis, have you seen the Netflix show Arcane? If not, I highly recommend it. I would consider it as a new direction for animated shows in the future. So, correct me if I'm wrong, man. Is this the anime one? Pardon me, very gassy. If so, I'm not the biggest anime fan. Like, generics anime is like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z for me. But I've heard people say nothing but good shit about Arcane. Again, it's just obviously a commitment, like I said, with Andor and the boys and Arrow and the Flash. I just feel like I'm too far gone for that stuff. And usually when I watch TV, it's before I'm about to fall asleep. So it's a rerun of something. Like, I usually smash out Frasier or Home Improvement because I know I'm not going to miss anything and I can fall asleep to it. It's easy watching. Whereas a show I've got to pay attention to. Yeah, it's hard to get committed to when most times out of 10 when you're watching TV, it's because you're about to fall asleep. So, yeah. Now I'm all caught up on super chats. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm just playing catch up, guys. I'm sorry. The Battlestar, is it me or is custom fodder at Big W Kmart Target not as good as it was pre-COVID? Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, things have definitely shifted on the other side of what's gone on in the world in the last couple of years. Like, I think it's also an adjustment. It's nice that things aren't as strict anymore. Like, guys on other parts of the world, like if you had to, the QR code check in and okay, where's your vaccination certificate? And sometimes you're flustered and like your phone isn't working sometimes, where now they're just like, hello, you just walk on through and walk the fuck out. And there's no one in or out lane. You can just do whatever the hell you want. But yeah, things have definitely changed, man. One thing that sucks though, is what they have in stock at Big W, Kmart, and Target now in terms of toys for possible custom collectibles. It's not inspiring anymore. It's weird, like not accurate looking. This is gonna be hard to explain because I don't know the names off the top of my head. There's like a Spider-Man figure there, and he's got a big head, a little body, and all these big limbs. He looks like a big Stretch Armstrong Spider-Man. I'm like, that looks shit. Like, I don't know. Like, just times have changed. Like, fuck me. Like, back in 2016, the Hulkbuster and the toys that were out there back then were just great. I could walk into Toys R Us when Toys R Us was still around at my local Westfield and be like, yo, that looks good. That's going to make a cracker custom collectible. Boom. Now I walk into those shops and I struggle for inspiration. And it's not a cop out, but I have to be inspired because then I'm going to put my heart and soul into it and try and do a damn good job. But yeah, like lately, there's just been fuck all. Like, they've got like dregs of stuff. So yeah, times have changed, man. Like, and it's hard to look online for stuff because I'd rather go into a shop and feel something tangible and look at it and be like, yeah, this I can make this work, or I can make something fun out of this. So I hope that makes sense. DSC 654. Hey Chris, what's your thoughts on what villain they could use for the Batman 2? Yeah, man. So yeah, we've spoken about this a couple of streams ago. Pattinson's all for the Court of Owls. I'm not up to speed with the Court of Owls. There have been murmurs of Mr. Freeze, and I would love Mr. Freeze. I'd love to see Matt Reeves' take on Mr. Freeze, and I think it'd be something quite special. So that's what I would like. I would like to see Matt Reeves tackle Bane. And I know a lot of people are saying the adrenaline he injected into himself is Bane venom. I reckon Matt Reeves said to the prop department, tinted green, let's fuck with them. It was originally like clear or white or something. So I would love to see him tackle Mr. Freeze for the Batman 2, Batman 3, maybe Bane, who knows? Or maybe that's too much of a correlation with Dark Knight Rises being the third Batman film and having Bane. I don't know. But yeah, Mr. Freeze could be, I'd love like an old school suit, like almost steampunk, if that makes sense. Like a lot of copper pipes and like a lot of repairs have gone onto the suit. And this thing is barely keeping him alive, but he's able to function and still fuck shit up in Gotham. That's what I think anyway, man. But yeah, Pattinson's opting for Court of Owls. He's all for that, which is refreshing that an actor who plays Batman is like nerding out and wanting X, Y, and Z in the next one. So That's what I'd love, Mr. Freeze, man. Gary, you're awesome, man. Another £5. I've always wanted to have Michael, Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface in all four corners of a room. Yeah, dude, that's kind of what I'm going for too, even though I don't have the room. The reason why, like, obviously I love collecting all this, but also one day I just hope to have that cave, that back cave, that theater room or whatever. So like this is like a nice, easy setup. You know, people recognize exactly what the hell's going on here, what these are. But I think life-size Freddy came first because Freddy's my guy, Freddy's my jam. Michael, I would love to have posed with the silver shamrock skull and the knife, holding it down like how he is before Lindsay goes up against him in the park. And like he's holding the silver shamrock skull and there's blood just all over it of the kid he supposedly just killed. I think that would be great. You know, utilizing Simon's beautiful mask, the coveralls that I just recently weathered up. Again, it's room, dude. Like if I had my own home cinema, yeah, it would be a lineup of the OGs, the OG Michael, Leatherface, Jason. Actually, I would go for part 4, Jason. He's my favorite. Yeah, I do love that aesthetic, man. So I get where you're coming from, dude. But thank you so much again. But yeah, that's the dream. The home theater. A few friends of mine have a home theater. I'm like, fuck, what do you do for work? Can I have some money, please? Help me, I'm poor. Okay. Jonathan Lewis, was surprised to see you on my Sunday night. Missed your troubles last week. Was in Disney World for my birthday. Trust me, man, you got the better option than watching my stream last week. It was fucking abysmal. Back home in North Carolina, ever been to NC? I have not been to North Carolina, man. Always anywhere in the States that I haven't been, I will always say I want to go because it's the States. I love exploring the States. But I'm jealous you got to go to Disney World, man. Disney World's the one in Florida because Disneyland's the one in Anaheim. I've been to the one in Anaheim a couple of times and it's an experience. That's for sure. But yeah, dude, last week's stream was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And I'm like, that's it. I'm getting a new laptop or whatever. So this is the new MacBook Pro with the M2 chip. I'm still using my old laptop here that has a tab open with this stream just so I can see everything's running okay. So far, so good. Plus, also, I can see the chat on both sides. And I still edit on this. So the cooling fan shit itself last week. And that's why I was like a glitch in the Matrix. I look like a mime artist. It was great. So great. I hope you guys enjoyed my impromptu mime TED talk last week. Ralph Sifra, good morning from Manila, the Philippines. Hello, man. My dad used to go to Manila all the time when he flew for Qantas. Like Manila was a big flagship stop over there. So yeah, dad would always bring goodies back from Manila all the time, man. He loved it over there. He always opted to go on those trips. So good stuff, man. Now I did see White Ennis Help Me, I'm Poor. Bridesmaids is such a good movie. I'm glad someone got it. I fucking love that scene, and the scene with the air marshal too. I love that. Help me, I'm poor. I'm like that all the time. Hey Chris, do you have any plans to visit the UK one day? It would be awesome to meet you in person. Never say never, man. The last time I was in the UK, I was 11 years old, and like I mentioned just then, dad used to work for Qantas and he took mum and I to the UK and France, and then dad carried on and then mum and I came home. But yeah, man, UK was great. Even though I was 11 years old at the time, you don't remember much, and not to say you don't appreciate it, but like me now as a 33-year-old man child would appreciate it a lot more. Like I'd take the experience in a lot more. And I've heard the cons there go off. Like you Brits know how to party when it comes to a con. So I would definitely love to a con. Absolutely. Now I did see, ball welder. It sounds painful. Sounds like a good Saturday night, man. How would you imagine a Deathstroke in a Matt Reeves universe? Good question, man. So actually, I'd like to see Mr. Freeze and Deathstroke in the Batman too. How about that? Deathstroke, because all I see now is Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke, because that's all I want to see at the moment, alongside Affleck coming back. How would I imagine Deathstroke? I think probably the same way that Affleck originally envisioned his script, or the script that he wrote. It's more of a psychological thriller, and Deathstroke is going after members of the Wayne family, picking off people one by one, and just essentially fucking with and tormenting Bruce. I think that would be something that would translate well into the Matt Reeves universe. Definitely, 100%. That's how I'd see it, man. But I think at the moment, because we haven't seen what Manganiello's Deathstroke is really capable of in terms of going up against Batfleck and having his time in the sun, in his time in the spotlight, I think that's all I'm focused on at the moment. But you're right, like that's a great question. Like, how would Matt Reeves do Deathstroke? Psychologically damaging, but also a brute force that would be a good opponent against Battinson, because Battinson is a brawler. Like that's his combat style. Brawler, dirty, nasty, like grazing the skin off your knuckles down to the layer of fat. Like that's what I want against Deathstroke, who's an expert marksman and all stuff like that. You know, I think it would make for a really interesting fight. Be interesting to see how they do. Like if they did Deadshot too, like that would be great. Hassan Kader, longtime viewer, brother, you're a legend. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you chiming in. Again, this is a lot better in terms of quality and all that, and I'm a lot more relaxed now because I'm not worrying about if this stream's working or not. It is. So yeah, it took a while, but I finally bit the bullet and got myself a brand new laptop, and it's a beast of a thing too. Like it's great. The M1 and M2 chips. Actually, the only shit thing is with the Logitech streamer cam, you have to download the Logitech capture footage. The M1 and M2 chips don't support it. Or sorry, should I say Logitech capture doesn't support M1 and M2 chip laptops. It doesn't support the silicon in them. And they've interviewed Logitech and said, well, do you have plans to like get around that? And they're like, nah. So I can't dial in the settings on the streamer cam, and it just makes sense to use the inbuilt camera for now. The inbuilt camera looks beautiful. Like when I've got 2 LED lights on the side here, and when you light everything, it does the job. It looks great. So it works for now, guys. Like Christ, go look at my first stream from a month and a bit ago. That'll make you cringe. That'll give you the heebie-jeebies. Okay. Camera photo. Yep, we've covered that. Dave S, when are you going to get around to a Homelander cosplay? That or Butcher? You could pull off either. I gotta watch The Boys first, dude. Again, not because I'm not a fan. It's just I have to dedicate the time, and I feel like if I haven't watched The Boys, it wouldn't be fair to do a Homelander or Butcher cosplay. I love all the costumes in The Boys. I follow the costumers that made all of those costumes for the show. So I love seeing the behind the scenes. There's a great photo of Tony Starr, who plays Homelander, in his original muscle suit, getting the test fitting done and everything. So I appreciate it from an aesthetic standpoint. And I just got to watch it, dude. That's all that it comes down to. Keep in mind, there are some other great Homelander cosplays. Excuse me, I'm just going to do an audio check. Yes, cool. Yeah, there are some great Homelander cosplays out there that are fitting the bill for now, man. So I guess if I do watch the show and I'm jonesing, it'll happen. But yeah, I'm very picky with my cosplays. Like obviously I want to have watched or, you know, related to whatever they're in, but mostly watched. Like it just helps that you've watched so you understand the character. The beer is still flowing in Belfast. I am jealous, man. I am very jealous. $1.99 comes in from Kratos War. Halloween Ends Mask custom collectible videos soon. Hopefully, dude. If I check my tracking, so I have ordered it from Nightmare Toys. It left LA on the 25th of September. It's now the 3rd of October, and there's just been no update. So I don't know what's going on, because originally I wanted to do an unboxing, and I will, like an unboxing out of the box. Here you go. Because my God, the masks look great. But also I want to do a size comparison with the Kills mask. So as soon as it arrives, dude, yeah, unboxing, and then I'll get straight to the custom collectible. Ideally, if it arrives in time, I want to do it before I go away to Canada, because I'm going to, miss a lot of times to upload right in the lead up the last week of October for Halloween, unfortunately. So yeah, as soon as it's here, dude, I'm jumping straight on it. I'm just waiting. Hopefully tomorrow, because today's a public holiday, there's some sort of update in the system. Because Christ, like I said, it left LA, like it flew out of LA on the 25th, and it's now the 3rd of October. So it's all on them, man. I'm waiting here on standby. I've got my reference photos ready to go, what I can find of good reference. and all the mold on the burn side. So yeah, just waiting, dude. Gary sends another 10 pounds. Dude, you're fucking killing it. Thank you, man. My ideal Jason is clothes like Mortal Kombat Jason, Part 7 face, Freddy vs. Jason Machete, and remake mask. It fits perfectly. It's not too big like Part 6 and not too egg-shaped like Part 3, and the red marks aren't too damaged. That, pardon me, is a good, that's a good mashup, man. I dig that. I really do dig that. I'm trying to remember in the back of my head, Mortal Kombat, Jason. I'm pretty sure I remember. It's funny you mentioned the Freddy vs. Jason machete. I used to be obsessed with the Freddy vs. Jason machete. I thought it was so cool. And I tried to make my own replica when I was in year 9. So I would have been 14 years old. I got this big scrap sheet of stainless steel, and it was like wobbly stainless steel, because I'm pretty sure they use aluminium for the heroes and stuff like that. And I cut it out, and it's got that funny divot on the bevel of the blade. And once I cut it out and put the cross guard on and taped it up and everything, it was like wobbly. It was like a stunt blade, even though it was like made out of aluminium, stainless steel. If I slap someone on the head, the stainless would probably bend around their head, like in the Black Adam trailer when they hit the rock with the pipe and it bends. But yeah, it's a good mashup, man. I have a soft spot for Jason Takes Manhattan. Jason, I don't know why. I kind of like the yellow hockey mask and the different chevrons. The chevrons, the decals that are up differently. It's kind of like a mustache in a cartoon where it's like boing. But yeah, it's a good mashup, man. And it's good. You're making it your own. That's the fun part. Eric Van Rixort, you're going to love the ends mask, Chris. The detail on those new masks is crazy. Yeah, dude, I agree. Like, it's such a tease that I don't have this mask, and I'm constantly seeing people grabbing them at Party City and all that stuff. And they're posting it on the michaelmyers.net Facebook group. And I'm like, oh, where the fuck is mine? So again, I ordered it from Nightmare Toys. I'm just waiting, dude. I really do hope I can get the content out before I leave. Because I'd like to dedicate a good day or two to film the custom collectible, because I'm probably going to fuck up along the way. Like, it's not the easiest thing to do with something like that. You think at face value, oh, easy, dry brushing. No, there's a lot. And also getting the mold to look right. You know, some people have cracked the mold, other people haven't, and it just looks like fluff just put on there. So I think I've got an idea of how to do the mold. Again, I have to do a test, though. I'm going to have to get some latex and try and figure it out. Even the hair, like, I will be utilizing the hair. I'll probably take the first layer off, the first row off the hairline, just so I can paint properly and then glue it back down. But it looks really good. It looks like they've blended the hair, and it's not just one color, because it is a good couple of colors. Like, it is a nice hair blend, man. So they've upped their game, and rightfully so, upping their price by 20 USD. I don't blame them, man. Like, you're getting screen lineage and a damn good paint job and a good hair job. Head job. What a bargain, eh? 80 USD for that. Oh, man. Frank Riker sends in $2, just showing support. Thank you so much, my friend. Darren and Frank you guys are just the absolute sweetest. So I was saying to Darren before, Frank, I've got to check out your Halloween 2018 video you guys put up yesterday or the day before. So it's in my watch later. It's in queue, man. So awesome stuff, man. These guys are killing it at the moment. They're so busy, but doing so well. Joseph Productions, I am here. How's it going, Chris? It's going good, man. If you go to the beginning of the stream, I explained I was in the emergency department yesterday for what I thought was appendicitis, but it just turns out it's something like muscular, just a bit of discomfort. But I had to have a CT scan yesterday, and it was good fun. But I'm doing okay, man. It's a public holiday here today for Labor Day. After this stream, Chloe and I are going to see her auntie for lunch, and just a quiet one tonight, man. Getting ready for the week ahead. I'm doing a 10 fun facts about the Hellraiser franchise video this week, finishing up the Samurai Spawn video. And also, for anyone that missed it, hopefully the video can go live this week with this 3D resin printed bust of the Balrog with light up eyes and mouth. So that was a bit of fun. Pretty easy to do, which is what I like. I hope, people will be like, oh, that's pretty easy, because not everything has to be bloody hard and break the bank. So I'm waiting to get approval on that from Amazon Prime, obviously, because it's coinciding with Rings of Power. So obviously I make like a big folder with all the content, submit it, and then my agent will come back with notes if they have any, or they're like, yep, they're keen, upload date is X, Y, and Z. So that's how it usually works. So hopefully that's this week. And then the following week, Halloween ends, man. The following week is going to be a lot of Halloween end stuff. So I'm really excited. And as you can see, I've got everything ready for my Halloween content. So yeah, very happy. Kit bashed this together this morning. It's a shelf with some legs that I got from Bunnings. The legs were like $5 each. But the cool thing is they're the adjustable ones. So you can adjust the height and everything. Okay. Let me just cruise on down here. Frank, is Australia coming into spring? No, dude, we're about to go into summer. That's why I'm like starting to get shiny on the face because it's hot in the study. So like it's funny. We have cold mornings at the moment that go into blaring hot days during the day and in the afternoon, especially in our apartment. Our apartment in the afternoon is like a glass house because of where we face, and we get that afternoon sun and it heats up the glass. And you come in here, like in the apartment, you're like, geez, it's fucking hot. And yeah, it you go outside and it's nice and cool. So Michael Keaton, oh, welcome to the chat, man. Loved you in Batman. What's up, Chris? You definitely should switch to 1080p someday for those streams. Yeah, dude. So I just switched to 720 for this one, just in case anything happens. So if you've just chimed in, bought a brand new laptop, which is what you're watching me on now, it's the MacBook Pro M2. Next stream, I'll probably switch to 1080p. It's more or less just in case things did fuck up again. So I literally just have to flick a switch on settings here. I can't do it now. Otherwise, I'd have to start a brand new stream again. So yeah, next weekend, I'll probably flick over to 1080p. If it is lagging, it shouldn't. Like it honestly, like now it's just, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for it not to work. So absolutely, dude. Again, this was kind of like a beta test today and it's working. So yeah, this is probably a one-off in terms of the resolution, and give people that option too for 1080. So yeah, just a flick of the switch and you can make it happen. So that's probably going to be for next week, man. Aaron Brooks. Hey, Chris, just put together a Deadpool cosplay from Elfette. Oh, shit, dude. That's great. Professional cosplay. Any plans to do Deadpool? Funny you mentioned that. Now that and perfect segue, because it's one of the topics we should be talking about, because I've been rattling on about everything else. Hugh Jackman coming back in Deadpool 3 as Wolverine. Obviously, I did a video on it the other day, but this is a bit more of an open forum and just a bit more free-flowing. So I actually thought the other day, man, funny you mentioned that, I want to do a Deadpool cosplay. And I'm like, do I either go White Sheep Leather Fashion Valley, or Elfette? And like, I've met the guy. I've met Elfette. He's wonderful. He's very talented with his crew. The only thing is, like, there's a massive price difference, but rightfully so, because what you pay Elfette for with your Deadpool suit, you're essentially getting something straight from the film. Like, it's so screen accurate, especially the textured fabric he uses. So I want to do it, man. But like, obviously with the mask, but also I'd love to have a crack with the burn makeup, but that's a lot. Like, that is a lot. So yes, it's definitely on the cards, man. I'm jealous you got one from Elfette, because yeah, it's a big investment, but so worth it. It definitely is a winter cosplay though. Like, you could only do that in the cooler months. So yeah, dude. But yeah, it's what a time to be alive. Hugh Jackman's coming back for Deadpool 3. It's rumored he's going to be donning the yellow suit. Hopefully it's yellow armor, not spandex. And I just saw, and I forget her name. I thought I screenshot it. Who played Domino and was in the Joker. She's apparently in talks now to be in Deadpool 3 back as Domino. Yeah, someone please let me know her name. It passed me. I had it in my head. Yeah, she's in talks now to be in Deadpool 3 back as Domino. That's great. And Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds followed up with another video, and I love it. They're like, hi, you have questions. Yes, lots of questions. I have questions. You have questions. And they're saying this takes place before the events of Logan, but also keeping in mind, James Mangold said Logan is like sort of its own thing, so to speak. Zazie Beats, that's it. Yes, thanks, John. Thanks, Banshee. Yes, thank you. Zazie Beats, yes. I saw a post before I went live. She's in talks to come back as Domino. I hope so. I loved her in Deadpool 2. Loved her in Joker. She's a great actor. So it'd be cool to see her with Ryan Reynolds again, and also interacting with Jackman's Wolverine. So yeah, they say it takes place before the events of Logan. They're not touching that. We understand Logan dies at the end of Logan. And it's very well done. And then Wake Me Up Before You Go starts playing, and they're getting all theatrical, and I loved it. So it's 2024 when it comes out, but you watch, like, time will fly so quick, and you blink and we'll be talking about it as a movie review. So I think I'd like to think it'll break the $1 billion mark. Imagine that a third film in a franchise breaks the $1 billion mark, whereas the first two haven't. Like, the first two made 700 odd million each. Imagine the third one, now that Jackman's back, broke the $1 billion mark. That'd be like, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Has that ever been done? Don't know. But yeah, it was such good news. It made me so happy. And it's funny. I follow Hugh Jackman on Instagram, and I'd be watching him, and I'm like, is it me, or are you getting more jacked, man? Get it? Yeah, he seems like he's been getting slowly bigger again. Because at one point he was like stick thin, which is fine. Like, God, he's not playing Wolverine anymore. So, like, let the man do his thing. But lately I've been like, you've been bulking up a bit. What's going on there? And then lo and behold, they did it. They fucking did it. They broke the internet. So yeah, I'm keen. I'm so keen. And I think, and I hope it'll break $1 billion. Okay. All right. Let me just cruise back up here. Michael Keaton, I love this anyway, but it would be just better. Doing a nice job lately with those streams. Liked it a lot. Can listen as a podcast, which is nice. Also nice to see you on other channels. Thanks, man. Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is fun collaborating with other channels, man. Especially when you've been watching them for so long, and you feel like you have that rapport. And that's what I've had. That's what I had with Mike from We Watched the Movie. Like, I wish I had have hit record earlier, because the stuff we were talking about before we hit record and started doing our thing was comedy gold. And he's just such a nice bloke, such a lovely bloke. Jimmy Champagne's lovely. Dave McRae, Frank Riker, Darren Sands, Slaughtered Lamb. Like, they're just absolute gentlemen of the horror community. So it really is nice, man. And hopefully eventually soon I can make it happen and make it work with the flick pick. We obviously just got to have a cool topic to talk about, but also we can spitball in the chat. Like, what would you like John and I to talk about, the flick pick? Because obviously he's finishing up moving at the moment. We had a bit of a chat, and he goes, dude, when everything dies down from the move, I definitely want to do something. So whether it be a live stream or pre-recorded, just something fun, because it's like, we've been friends for so many years. It'd just be nice to have that interaction, that screen time interaction, where it's not a message back and forth every couple of days. So yeah. Aaron Brooks, Illustrious Studios also makes a fantastic Deadpool suit and setup. I have their newest mask, and it's amazing. So I'm actually going to be going to them for my new Wolverine helmet, man. Now that they've announced Jackman, I've got my leather Fashion Valley Wolverine suit hanging up that I want to customize, dirty up, and do additions to. And I want Illustra's helmet. I think that Wolverine helmet is badass. He makes some of the cleanest molds I have ever seen. The guy is crazy neat with his molds. So yes, definitely going to go with them for the Wolverine helmet, man. Like Sean Reeves's Wolverine cowl is beautiful, and it's urethane, so it's more comic style, like softer, whereas Illustra's is hard edge plated armor, and that's what I'm going for with the additions I want to do to this Wolverine suit from Leather Fashion Valley. And probably get some sort of nice motocross glove and spray it with a nice metallic blue. I think that would look really good, and then dirty it up with the claws coming out. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Between you and John, who would be Batman? John. The guy's huge. He'd kick my ass for sure, man. The Morb Avenger. He's a huge jacked man. He is a beautiful, huge jacked man. He's amazing. Boy Meets World, Fast and Furious. Yeah, true. It's actually Fast and Furious. Like, nearly everyone that comes out makes like $1 billion. It's crazy. Banshee B, it's a good time to be a nerd. Hello, you beautiful thing. John, yep, Zazie Beats. Yes, thank you, guys. Let me just cruise back up. Okay, this is a good question. Redud reacts. What character would you like to cosplay but make your own on on your character, your own spin on it. So now that the seed has been planted in my head, the Crow, I think you can do a lot with this character. I think like I said, you can like zombify it, but have Eric decaying, comes back from the dead, and then puts all that makeup on still like in the open wounds, and just really just make it disgusting. I think that would be a lot of fun. So it would be definitely the Crow. Batman, I've always kind of done my own spin on it. Batman, I still need to get my ass into gear and just update the Pattinson one, which takes a couple of days, but it's a good couple of days of filming, and it's just finding time at the moment. So definitely the Crow at the moment, man. Like, it's got me jonesing now that Skarsgård has wrapped filming. I'm surprised we haven't seen a photo of him in makeup. So hopefully in the next coming weeks we get something, a reveal. I don't know, just something to talk about, something to Jones about, get the hype train going, man. Because I think, usually when a film wraps, that's usually when the hype train starts. Everyone's like, oh my God, okay, let's look at the set photos and reveals and get the conversation going. Okay, let me just cruise back down here. Boy Meets World. The original 78 mask is still my favorite. That doesn't get a lot of attention anymore. Yeah, I think you're onto it, man. I think now that 2018 Kills and now Ends is here, a lot of attention does go to them. I still think the original Shatner is beautiful. And it was just the story behind it. Like, I'll tell the story of how that mask came to be and what its origins were to people who aren't Halloween fans. And they're blown away. They're flabbergasted. They're like, whoa. That was a Star Trek mask. That was a Captain Kirk mask, and they made it that. And just the way Nick Castle's face filled that mask, how it was longer as opposed to Dick Warlock, who had the wider head. It's just, it was lightning in a bottle. I would like to have, and I always say this, I would like to have seen what Halloween 4 would have been had Nick Castle come back as Michael and they used the same mask. Granted, by 4, the mask would probably be in very bad shape, because it was in pretty bad shape in Halloween 2, because it was kept under a shoebox in Deborah Hill's room, who smoked a lot for 2 years. Sorry, I'm really parched. You can tell my voice is getting dry. So I think by 4, it would just be a mess. And like the Halloween 4 mask, like I said, it looks like a surprised accountant. And as Frank Riker will say, Wayne Newton, the hair of Wayne Newton. It's crazy. He's had like a hair transplant. So yeah, I always will have a soft spot for the first mask, man. It's beautiful. And just the way it was lit. And there's that brilliant video on YouTube of Sean Clark teaming up with Tommy Lee Wallace, who was the production designer, the editor, and made the mask, converted the mask for the first Halloween, getting a Tots Kirk mask and doing it the way he did it. He said he converted the mask in like 45 minutes, and there was no shading, no shadowing. It was just all a fish belly white or an appliance white, like a Krylon appliance spray paint that he used. So it was all Dean Cundy's lighting, beautifully lighting the shadow to highlight, beautifully highlighting the mask to accentuate the cheek droops, the nose, the lips, the overhang of the chin, and obviously the way Nick wore it and was with these mannerisms. I think, again, it was just lightning in a bottle. You can never really recreate that. But then like 2018, I think Christopher Nelson did a beautiful job trying to stay true to the original Shatner, but also not doing his own thing, but having a sense of continuity. This is what the mask may look like now, even though the mask, the actual hero now, looks nothing like it does in the film. I think you have to suspend your disbelief, because the original mask, how it looks now, looks sort of silly, even though I would have liked to have seen Halloween 2018 follow that continuity with the lips kind of sucked in and the neck all cracked and rotted and the eyes opened up. And then Halloween Kills, I think the mask is great. That's why I got the poster up there. I think it's just really gnarly and cool to see the burns. And then Ends, it totally makes sense following the continuity of what happens to latex over a 4-year period when it's not kept well. It's kept in a moldy environment, a damp environment. It would get a lot of mold and just droops. Like the latex just starts to droop. Gravity kicks in and stuff like that. The eyes are no longer that kind of walnut shape. They're sagging, and it's great. So they're all great in their own right, but I agree, man. The original 78 mask is beautiful, and you can't touch that. And I love the Halloween 2 mask, even though it's same mask, different actor. There's still something great about the stretchness of it, and like Dick Warlock in the shadows, emerging from the shadows to grab the nurse with the needle. It's great. It was peak horror then, like late 70s, early 80s, man. Okay. Michael Keaton, I just love your podcast about Freddy with the Slaughtered Lamb. Folks actually didn't know about them. Know by now, thanks to you. And yeah, can listen to you talk about Freddy endlessly. Awesome job, mate. Keep it up. Thanks again, dude. I look forward to seeing you in the flash. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That was a lot of fun to do with Frank and Darren. And hopefully we're going to be doing some more content shortly, probably after Halloween. But I will always have time for those two. That, like I said, they're working so hard at the moment, and it's showing. Like their interactions and stuff like that are just textbook how it should be. So it's quite inspiring to see. Caden Thompson, you should get the Captain Kirk mask from Trick or Treat Studios and make a 1978 Michael Myers mask out of it. Good idea, man. Like I've again thought about it. It's just because I'm my own boss. I'm like, no one else is going to do this but me. So I have to use the initiative and be like, okay, buy the mask and then do it. So my biggest thing is the eye cuts. I shit myself about doing the eye cuts. So obviously I do it in pencil to make sure they look good, because the eye cuts can make or break a mask. I'm sure you know that, man. Oh, jeez. Bill H. Hi, Chris. I just watched Morbius last night. Didn't think it was bad as people said. Did you see it? I did see it, man. I went to a screening. I took my mate Luke along, and yeah, I wasn't a fan. You know me, I try to see the good and everything, and I just could not. It felt like it had been butchered from an editing standpoint, and Jared Leto was just off in this one. The CGI was weird. Matt Smith was just weird in it, and then the post-credit scene with Vulture at the end, and I don't know, but like if you had fun with it, man, hell yeah. Like I envy that. I wish I had more fun with it. It just wasn't my cup of tea. That's all. Aaron Brooks, a creative question here. What would you use for the mold effect on the ends coveralls? I would get a white artist oil color, and kind of lay down your base foundation of where you want the mold effects to be and like the white to be. And then maybe once that dries, or just leave it in the sun, the coveralls in the sun for a good hour or so, because the dryness of the fabric will absorb that oil. And then get cotton wool, like cotton swabs. Maybe some spray adhesive where you've laid down the oil color and dab it. That's what I'm going to try and do with the ends mask. Dab it on, and then, it'll lift off excess part of the cotton wool, and you might have to remove some if it's too much, and you can kind of futz with it a bit, man. I think that may work best. You may have to do it in layers. Let the first layer kick, settle, and cure, like the spray adhesive, and then build it up in certain areas, because there are parts of the coveralls that are really mold heavy, and then other parts that are really light. So that's what I'm thinking of doing with the ends mask when it gets here, when it finally decides to fucking get here, when it's not in transit over the ocean from LA. So yeah, I give that a crack, man. I think that sounds good. Frank Riker, do you think a pinhead mask is easy to complete? Or, dude, if it's a wearable one, I'd go, if I was going to wear it, I'd just go get a silicone one from like Evolution Masks or something like that. For a bust, like a bust is great. I've wanted to do a pinhead bust for so long, and I think it'd be a lot of fun, especially, drilling all the holes and setting all the pins and getting that. I love that paint aesthetic of Doug Bradley's pinhead from the first and second one, where it's white, but around the lips and the eyes, it's this nice smoky blue that blends into those big black contact lenses that he wears. So yeah, dude, a pinhead mask is a hard one to crack. You need to invest in a good silicone one, I think. I've seen some good cosplays where they've got the silicone mask where it snaps to your face, like that old Freddy one I had, and you can get a lot of movement. Whereas if you get like a dime store one and you kind of look like Punhead instead of Pinhead, silicone all the way, Frank. Absolutely, man. Casually cosplaying. Hey, Chris, favorite Adam Sandler movie? Dude. That's the $1 million question. I grew up in an era where I had peak Sandler. So Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, The Wedding Singer. Damn, that's a toughie. So, okay, I'm going to have two categories: dramatic, comedy. because Adam Sandler can be a really good actor when he feels like it and he doesn't feel like just getting a paycheck. Dramatic wise, Uncut Gems. I still need to see the basketball one that recently came out, but Uncut Gems was so good and he was so good in that. Comedy, I'm gonna go either Happy Gilmore or The Wedding Singer. I love the way that The Wedding Singer is set in the 80s, and also because the kid dresses up as a little Freddy Krueger, but that's just shameless plug from my Freddy Krueger loving end. But Happy Gilmore as well, man. Happy Gilmore is just great. And like honorable mention to Billy Madison. And even, you know what? I'm going to go out here, unpopular opinion. I love Little Nicky. I love that movie so much. Everyone, well, a lot of people hang shit on it, but I don't think it gets enough love. It's so stupid. But mind you, people will make a valid point and be like, well, the Munsters is stupid and you didn't like that. So again, it's everyone's different flavor. It's subjective. I just think Little Nicky's great. It's just some of the shit that they come up with in that film. And I forget the comedian's name who plays Tithead, you know, the demon gatekeeper, and he gets the tits on his head and he ends up wearing a bra. And Nicky comes back through the portal and he's like, I like your brassiere. It's just stupid shit. So yeah, man, I definitely, so yeah, drama, Uncut Gems, comedy, Happy Gilmore / The Wedding Singer, honorable mention to Billy Madison and Little Nicky. But like lately, like I didn't mind Hubie Halloween. All right, I didn't mind Hubie Halloween. That was stupid, but it was fun. It was fun. Again, a lot of people will say that about the Munsters, and I get where they're coming from. Andrea Romero, hey, Chris, how are you? I am doing really well, man. Beautiful day outside today. Chloe and I got lunch with her auntie after this stream. So I'm probably going to wrap this stream up in a couple of minutes, actually, guys. It's been a cracker stream, and it just helps when you have the right hardware, you know? You're not relying on, 1935 wood-burning laptops. All right, so I'll answer a few more questions, guys, and I'll skedaddle out of here. But yeah, this has been great. You guys have been awesome. Thank you very much. Yosef Productions, I think you may have missed my last comment. Well, let me cruise back on up, man. I've gotten my cast off and I can now move my arm. Only bad thing, it'll be 5. Oh, dude, yes, that's right. Yeah, we spoke about this last week. Okay, so that's a quick turnaround to get the cast off, man. But I'm glad it's off. It's like one step closer to recovery. So that's good though, man. I'm glad you're on the mend. Only bad thing is it'll be 5 weeks until I can fully use it. Baby steps, dude. You've just got to have that mindset that you are eventually going to have proper movement. It's just good things take time. And it's incredible what the body can do and how resilient the body is. But granted, it does take a little bit of time. So I'm glad you're on the mend, man. And thank you for checking back in. I remember our chat last week about that in all of my glitchy glory. I'm pretty sure it was last week. Okay, so the mold effect. Yep. Chris, once you start your Etsy shop again, can recreate the 78 mask? Oh, probably not recreate it, man. A good friend of mine, Marshall Bean, at the moment is sculpting a castle mask, and he's sculpting it with the castle stretch. He's about to have that molded, so I'm really keen to see that. And yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, I have suspended orders on my Etsy store just for the time being. It's just too much going on at the moment. So I'm finishing up my final set of Michael Myers hands, and you literally flick a switch on your shop settings and then it's like you're on vacation mode, and you can put a message in there, which I have currently catching up on orders. And also just of the lead up to Chloe going away and then me going away to Canada, I just don't have time for like extra things because I may not get it done, because ideally I'd love to have everything shipped out before I leave. And it's also tricky sometimes in a lead up to Halloween. People get very nervous about whether their things will arrive in time, which I understand. And it just gets too stressful. So, but I will open the shop back up when I'm back. And yeah, Frank Riker, will somebody get this kid a Happy Meal? Yes, actually, Big Daddy. Big Daddy's a great one too. I love that. It's like, what you doing there, boy? Eating cereal. Why don't you pour me a bowl? I love that. I remember Mum took me to see that, and Mum pissed herself laughing every time something was spilt on the ground or the kid throws up and he just gets newspaper and lays the newspaper down and just leaves it there. That's something I'd do when I was younger. Boy Meets World. Chris, Freddy Part 2 bust is what you need next. In my opinion, scariest version of Fred. I did a Part 2 bust, man, back in 2020. Had it on the Etsy store for a while, and I've discontinued it just because the mold was getting tired. And I've then sold the master copy to someone else who wanted to make more. So I was like, yeah, go for it. So have done a Part 2. I would like to do an updated Part 2. Refine the burns a bit more. So I agree, man. The Part 2 makeup is terrifying. Aaron Brooks, can we see your Dark Ride Freddy mask? I'm thinking about getting one at some point. Unfortunately, man, and again, all for transparency, I no longer have it. I do have my unboxing video of the mask on my channel. You can check that out. Reason being, like, some people be like, why did you sell it? The wait time was so long. And rightfully so, because James does beautiful work. When I got it, like, I did my thing with it. I'm like, this is great. I love it. I'm like, oh man, I need funds to put towards other things, cosplay, supplies. So yeah, I sold it and someone now has it and they're doing a cracker job with it. They're wearing it beautifully. It is a beautiful mask, man. Like, if you can get on James's list, do it. It's well worth the $1 dues. And his paint work is incredible. Like, painting silicon is one thing, but to make it look that good is different. It's a whole nother ballpark. But you won't be disappointed, man. He uses power mesh in the entire mask, so it's all strengthened and stuff like that, especially with the pullover. But yeah, dude, if you haven't checked out the video, I do an unboxing video of it and it shows some good details there, man. The movement is crazy. You do have to have a particular face type, though. It helps if you've got like sunken in cheekbones. I wish I had more sunken in cheekbones for the Part 2 look, because Robert's famous for that with that makeup because of the bone structure that kind of pops out. So yeah, man. Boy Meets World, Power Rangers fan. I can see you being a Tommy Oliver Green Ranger. Yeah, dude. Back in the day, I was the biggest Power Ranger nerd. It was Thomas the Tank Engine, Ninja Turtles, and then Power Rangers. And I am interested to see White Dragon with David Frank, is it? Who played Tommy. So yeah, should be good. Patty Lavery, Chris, have you ever watched Rawhead Rex? It's so bad, it's good. You must have been reading my mind, and you must be working with the FBI or working at Optus and tapping my emails, man. I was in the car the other day. I have seen the original Rawhead Rex. Fucking awful, but I'm like, Hulu should do Rawhead Rex the way they're doing Hellraiser, because Rawhead Rex is Clive Barker's novel. I have the original graphic novel for Rawhead Rex. It's fucked up. It's so fucked up. Like, imagine if they made that into a TV series. So yeah, I have seen the original, man. It's so shit, but it's so good. Like, it's like Samurai Cop. You could just get with your mates, have some drinks, have some pizza, and just roast the shit out of it. I would like to see them do it now. I'd be interested to see how they do, especially the design of Rawhead Rex himself, because the actual original design of Rawhead Rex is so different to the film, like really different. Okay. Skytrend FG. Hey, Chris, I love your videos. I've been watching for about 5 years. Fun fact, the director/composer of Werewolf by Night is Michael Giacchino. Oh, composer of Doctor Strange 1 and the MCU Spider-Man trilogy and the Batman. Oh, shit. He's the director and composer. Wow. I didn't know he was directing that. So 6 degrees of separation there, man. That's awesome. His score in the Batman is so good. Like, everything that he's scored is great. So that's really cool that he's directing. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out now. I've just really got to set time aside. Jason Thomas should, hey dude, Jason Thomas, hello mate, should send the Samurai Spawn pic to Jai. Yeah, dude, when everything's done next week with the video, I'm trying to, just tag Todd McFarlane, Michael Jai White as much as I can. If Todd just gets a glimpse of it, that would be great. Yeah. VMG23BH. Hey, where did you get the Michael Myers mask? This is a Trick or Treat Studios. Down that goes. This is a Trick or Treat Studios Halloween Kills mask, man, that has been repainted by the brilliant Simon Brandolino. And he's one of the best rehaul artists in the world. He does some cracker work. So yeah, it's a Tots mask, man. Just mounted on a mannequin head, and I've got the eye plate under there with the blind dead eye. Frank Rucker, enjoy your morning, everyone. Dude, thanks so much for stopping by, and Darren as well. Really appreciate that. So, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there, call it a day. Like I said, Chloe and I are off for lunch with her auntie, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm just going to make sure I answered all those wonderful super chats. And again, thank you all. Yes, we are good. Just because. Gary, yep. And Slaughtered Lamb, guys, thank you so much. So yeah, this coming week is going to be 10 fun facts about the Hellraiser franchise. Hopefully the Balrog video gets approved and I can pop that up, because they are wanting it to go live straight away, but obviously they got to check it, make sure I've hit all the right notes and key messaging and stuff like that. So yeah, and then Samurai Spawn, as soon as that's done, it's either going to be the weekend, or if it's done beforehand, I'm going to just throw it up beforehand. Oh, we got 2 more quick, cheeky super chats from Gary, 10 pounds. I was always skinny in school in my 20s. I put on weight. Now I'm 31. I struggle to lift a small case and I have cholesterol. How do you get motivated? What happens with extra skin? Is cholesterol forever? No, cholesterol is not forever, man. It's just a diet change. Loose skin. Dude, I have loose skin on my belly, and that's from losing weight when I was younger, because I lost 25 kilos when I was younger, and I've always had that kind of loose skin. Loose skin sometimes just there, and you just kind of just got to embrace it and just work with what you got. I think it's just a change of diet, man, and maybe a change of training, mix things up a little, shock the body. The body hates, but also loves to be shocked, and that's what overall makes you grow. But yeah, cholesterol's not forever, dude. You might have to go get a blood test, and that gives you a good indication of your cholesterol, but obviously from the sounds of it, you have had a blood test. But also you can talk with your GP, dietitian, coach, trainer, whatever you fancy, and they'll guide you, man. Obviously, try to avoid saturated fats and all that type of stuff. Still have your healthy fats, your avocados, your nuts. Brazil nuts are great. Peanut butter, avocado, all that type of stuff. Fish, your omega-3 fatty acids, all that type of stuff. But obviously just not the bad fats. So back in the day, it was all about, no, you just cannot have fat at all. But now you need fat to gain muscle, to lose weight. And it also helps with your hormones. Keeps your hormones in check, keeps your testosterone in check if you're a woman. It keeps your estrogen in check. So stuff like that, man. But yeah, I think if you just get the scientific facts about it, especially with your readings, talk to a professional about it. It's just a change in diet, man. And just watch your saturated fats, your junk foods and stuff like that. But just, it's common sense, man. And yeah, change training up, I reckon. One week you're doing your heavy lifts, your 6 to 8 rep range. Next week, high reps, high intense, minimal rest, sprinting between sets on, not on the treadmill, but on the sprint machine. That's what I did a couple of days ago, and I was drenched in sweat. I felt great afterwards. But again, we're all different, man. Some people put on muscle like that. I struggle. I've really got to fight to, build my forearms up, because I've got my dad's skinny forearms and my dad's flat ass. So I've got to work for my forearms and my ass. So we're all different, man. But yeah, that's why it helps to get a blood test, get checked, and be like, all right, what do I need to do instead of guessing what I need to do? I need the facts. So I hope that helps, man. And again, thank you so much. You've been amazing this stream. I really do appreciate it. $1.99 from Owlwatch. Love your work. Mark my words. I will cosplay Owlman. Do it. I dare you. I double dare you to do it, man. You don't have a choice now. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a day. I'm all up to date with super chats. You guys have been absolutely brilliant. I honestly can't thank you enough. The stream has gone really well. Finally in a good place with it. And I can't thank you guys enough for sticking by and just hanging in there whilst I work all this shit out. So yeah, guys, if it's Sunday, wherever you are, have an incredible Sunday. If it's your public holiday Monday today in Australia, have an absolute cracker of a day. Hope you're happy. Be merry, be silly. And until next time, geeks, please always remember, cosplayers do it best. But seriously, guys, thank you so much again. End stream. I'll chat